Daryl, how frustrating is it not having a game again?
Yeah, it's just not been able to get going, get any fluency to our season. So yeah, it's a little bit frustrating, but it is what it is, and not much you can do about it. I mean, the table's a little bit unbalanced, isn't it? You know, Warrington have played 7 games, we played 4, so yeah, it is what it is. We've just got to crack on, and you know, this is a decent surface area, isn't it? So you know, look forward to getting out on the field again.
Obviously, Leeds had a great win at the weekend. What are you expecting from them come Friday?
Well, it's just you know, it doesn't matter who's playing, does it? They're just a quality group of players, and you know, it was a tough game for them. The Saints have been on fire and found a way to win, and just got good players in every position. So it'll be a real challenge for us.
Brian, you guys at the weekend, everybody raving about the win. What were your own thoughts on it with the?
Oh, it was a very good win, significant win really, so early in the year, with who we didn't have playing. You know, in terms of a performance, it would be there wouldn't be much, as I said after the game, and I stand by it. There's not much we'd drag from that to say, but continue with this. But you know, you get some wins through game plan, but you get some wins through defence as well. I thought we defended some moments good enough. We was awful in some areas as well, indeed, but. You know, the bigger picture stuff, you take a step back from the league and all that, you go to Saints, you know, down on troops, whether it's round 5 or round 15, it's a big win though.
Looking forward to coming back to Elland Road as well on Friday?
Yeah, it was good. It was a really good occasion when we played Hull KR here. You know, obviously we're playing Cass, and you know, they'll bring a fair few more fans there. It should be a really good night.
Callum and Ashton will be available for Friday.
Yeah, let's see. They're both going through their protocol now. So Cal did his bike this morning. Cal, did you fall off your bike while doing you?
I'm alright.
He's all right. So it's good how they do it. Really, you know, it's a fair process how they're going to go through these stages, and if they fail in one of those stages, they're going to start it again, which he'll roll him out for Friday. But you know, fingers crossed over the next couple of days he gets through his stages.
Any chance of anyone coming back?
Don't think so. Well, from injury, I don't think so. Mitch Garbutt's won't be right. Brett Ferris, even if he puts his hand up and says, you know, he's rehabbed from his injury, he hasn't played any games, any warm games, so I don't know if we'll play him. You know, and Stevie Ward and Sutty and Jimmy Kay and Peter Rue, they're all still a number of weeks off. What
are you expecting from the Tigers?
Well, I know how good they can be. And by Daryl's own admission, you know, they haven't hit the straps yet. I don't think any team has. It's been a clunky start for everybody really because of the weather. You know, the weather's had such a bearing on it. So, you know, when they're good, they're an extremely very hard team to defend against. And even if you defend them, i.e. you don't concede a line break or you don't concede a try, they stretch you so much that by the time you get the ball, you're still putting yourself back together again. So, you know, they've been doing that for the last 2 or 3 years, Castleford actually. Certainly against Leeds anyway. Their attack's been really good, so you know, that'll come this year for them, and you know, we're hoping they're still clunky on Friday night.
Daryl, will the grand final be mentioned in terms of motivation or anything on Friday, or is all that gone now?
No, I don't think I need to talk about it too much, but clearly it was a disappointing end to last season for us, and you get motivation from different things. I think the way it ended, regardless of who we were playing against, I think it's going to play a part this season. It's only natural that people will feel that. I don't want to jump up and down about it. It's you know, it's a game that's important to us. We're trying to piece our combinations together, and there's a few things that have changed there. So we're still working hard on that. I think, you know, Benny Roberts in particular is getting better week on week, and when he gets his game together and he's looking like that in practice, then I think we'll become a little bit closer to our best. And yeah, there's some good signs from us at the moment, but you know, we're a work in progress, and like Brian said, there's a lot of teams that are like that at the moment.
Can you put your finger on why you've got in the league such a good recent record against Leeds? I think, was it 8 wins before the
No, I just think we've played well against Leeds. I think, you know, before that it was a pretty poor record. I just think we've played well, and that's the only reason really. I think we've been motivated against Leeds and played well a number of times, but there's been some real tough tussles. I think the game at Magic last year it was like a playoff game. It was a real tough game. I remember going in at half time and thinking it was like an hospital ward. There were people all over the place really struggling, and the intensity of the games have been awesome at times. And I'd expect something similar Friday evening.
Question for both guys: does the stadium, the venue, give the game a bigger, different feel at all?
I'd say yes. Yeah, it does. It's I think both players, coaches are good. Intelligent enough to work out that you're only playing for 2 points, but it's a decent venue to play at, and it's something other than the norm. And, it's a little bit like Magic Weekend, although it's only for 2 points. Everybody looks forward to playing in a stadium full of fans. So, I just hope the weather doesn't turn people off, and there's nothing like playing in front of a packed crowd, whether you're at Castleford or at Headingley. It's brilliant playing in front of a packed crowd. So we hope we can do a really good job in getting the fans here on Friday.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's exciting. I think both clubs, particularly Leeds, have obviously put a lot of style on this game. We wouldn't be sat here like this, would we? I think it's a little bit different. Obviously, we played each other in the grand final, so there is something a little bit different about the game. I think playing here, it's a quality stadium. It's going to be a bigger than normal crowd you would expect. So I think everybody's excited about it. We're certainly really excited about the game and just looking forward to it.
How different could your team be this week?
I don't think it'll be too much different. We've got a couple of options, but we've still got some people missing. We're not going to get too much back. Joe Wardle, Greg Eden are still a while away. So we've got Ollie Holmes is suspended this week. Lynn Watts can't play; he's suspended. So we're not going to be changing too much.
Brian, I think this time last year you'd had one more defeat than you've got now, and now you've talked about the players perhaps not being completely at their best so far this season. How much more will they need to give to get a positive result here against Cass on Friday? Yeah,
look, the truth to that is this depends how good Cass are going to be. I thought it was a really good win against St Helens, as I've already said, but I have to concede I don't think Saints were crash shot that night either. They let us off the hook a couple of times. We could win, we could beat Cass, with a 7 out of 10 performance if Cass are still a bit clunky. But as Daryl said, we played some games with them over the last couple of years, and I agree with him about the Magic Weekend. That was a really intense game. We'd blown a gasket at half time, and that's what the whole build up to this is. And we start talking about it being a big game, even though it's for 2 points. It is a big game. And I'm sure they'll bring a level of intensity that we've not faced this year. So if you're talking about that type of landscape, then we'll have to be really good. We'll have to be really good to beat them. But it's one of those occasions during the early part of the season you need to test yourself and find out where you're at. And even if we get beat by Cass, we'll get something from it. It's these things that they improve you. The losses improve you. The wins don't improve you. The losses do. And certainly when we get beat against Cass, we all sulk for a couple of days, and the desire to improve is increased.
Yeah, it's very, very much a different, I guess, scene than it was last year. Obviously, when you went and played Cass last week, you said you'll learn a lot from the St Helens game. What did you learn about your players, and what have you learned about them so far this season?
Not too much. Without going down the philosophical path so early in the year, we've been all right. We've got to get better. We've had some moments where we need to defend, and we have defended. So there's a bit there, but I'm not going to tell you that with a finished article, and I'm not going to tell you that with the toughest team ever. We need to learn those, and even, as a coach, your team does progress year on year, but at the same time, every season's different. You've got to go through some certain processes and experiences every single year. You can't say, do you know what? Round 3 we got beat by Cass 66-10, so this year it won't happen again. No, you've got to almost get your legs slapped a couple of times before you really toughen up, and that's just human nature. So we will lose some games this year, and we'll have a couple of bad losses this year, but that, as long as we handle it in the right way, we'll become a good team because of that. We just don't want to lose this week. and we don't want it to be a bad loss against Cass.
Well, you've got 3 games in hand on some of the clubs around you. How difficult will it be playing catch up?
No, I'm not even worried about that. I don't see any point in worrying about it. You know, there's the international weekend which takes care of one of the games. Yeah, we just got to keep winning games and chipping away. Like I said, we're a work in progress. I think we've stabilised really well after that initial smack on the chops that we got at St Helens. And I'm not worried about that at all. I think we've just got to keep chalking wins off, keep improving, and I think we're doing that. I think we're getting a little bit better each week. There's a number of areas we need to keep improving, but I think we're in a good place, and you know we're just going to go week to week and just keep getting better as a team, hopefully.
Is it difficult to find rhythm in your team early on with all the cancellations you've had so far?
Yeah, you want to be playing week to week, don't you? That's definitely the case. But so it has been difficult. I think particularly with the changes in combinations. You know, we've got a new half in there, and obviously a new fullback. So that's been the most difficult thing. So you know, you've got to get as much as you can out of practice. So we've tried to step that up, and you know, our training's been a lot more intense over the last week or two. Based on the fact we know what's coming up in this next block is really difficult games, really tough challenges, and the fact that the team needs to spend more time together. So yeah, we've done some things a little bit differently over the last couple of weeks.